Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6, and this is of course going to be my trailer breakdown for Episode 3 for the season. It feels, I know it's only 3 episodes in, but it feels like it's gone really quick. Anyway, Episode 3 for this season, otherwise entitled Dead Man Running. But yeah, of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that damn trailer.
There's always going to be a crisis, or some meta-human threatening to take the life that you love. We're all living on borrowed time.
There's a creature out there with the strength of 10 men, getting stronger by the minute.
The Flash, all new episode next Tuesday at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
So last episode was easily one of the most hyped episodes I think people had for The Flash. Obviously early on, it's only the second episode, but a lot of people were looking forward to it a lot. Obviously we had the crisis basic setup, or at least the crisis tease, if you want to call it, where Barry got to see billions of possible futures and billions of deaths, but us, the audience, got to see essentially Earth 1 getting completely destroyed by antimatter, seeing Iris die, seeing, Killer Frost, Ralph, and Cisco in his vibe suit getting absolutely obliterated, as well as, some members of the public. Crazy, exactly like it happens in the comics. It was really cool to see. And speaking of exactly like in the comics, we get to see Barry basically quickly recreate his death in the comics as well, his famous death scene. I'm hoping in the crossover they do a better version of it, because that was very basic, if you want to call it. It wasn't exactly like in the comics, and hopefully if they do it in the crossover, it's actually like it is in the actual event where he's running around the antimatter cannon thing. So hopefully we get that. If not, I'm not going to be devastated, but I would like to see it. And obviously right towards the end of last episode, we did have Ramsey Rosso essentially create a zombie through his powers, which was interesting but also random. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description for this episode, as it does give us a bit of a better idea as to what's going on exactly. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your various opinions and thoughts and stuff down in the comments section down below. Interested in what you have to say, what you're looking forward to most in this trailer, in this episode, might I say, based off the trailer. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Knowing that Crisis is only weeks away, Barry prepares a member of Team Flash for life without him while hunting a terrifying metahuman with an unquenchable thirst. Meanwhile, Ralph uncovers a family secret. So the first thing I do want to mention actually goes back to last episode of not only The Flash, but also Arrow, its premiere. If you've not seen Arrow, this is a bit of a spoiler. I will put spoiler thing on the screen until I've stopped talking about it. So, obviously in last episode we saw Jay Garrick. We talked to Jay Garrick a bit with Barry. Now, Jay Garrick actually holds up a multiverse map. There's X's on some Earths, you actually can't tell what number they are, but down the bottom here you can actually see Earth 2, and there's a big red arrow that says like antimatter was detected, and this is like the next area where antimatter is going to hit. Now, if you didn't watch Arrow, which hopefully you're not listening to this if you haven't watched it or you just don't care about spoilers, Earth 2 was destroyed on Arrow. It was destroyed by antimatter. Every Earth 2 member, every Earth 2 person, was killed apart from the Earth 2 Laurel Lance, the Black Canary. She actually went with Oliver Queen and John Diggle. They escaped from Earth 2, but that whole Earth got obliterated by antimatter. Essentially, people dusted. That's what it sort of looked like. They just disappeared from existence as if they never existed. It was crazy, unexpected. Arrow ended with a bang. But it's just crazy. Earth 2's gone, and Earth 2 has obviously been such a big thing in The Flash. That's where Jesse Quick and Harry Wells are from. Are they dead? We'll talk about that later in the video when it's relevant. But are they dead? What the hell's going on there? But yeah, let's just jump into this trailer, because there is actually a decent amount to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually Ramsey being attacked by that meta monster that he created last episode, which I wasn't necessarily sure where that was going when he attacked him, and then at the end of the episode he's working on him. I wasn't necessarily sure what was going on there. But it seems that this guy's going to be feeding off blood. Now this guy's now a meta because of what Ramsey did to him. But it seems like he's feeding off blood. He's pretty much like a zombie type of monster thing. The character's name is actually Mitch Romero, and this might be a reference to George Romero, the king of zombies, like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, all that stuff. So I'm going to assume that's the reference there, of his last name being Romero. It's not a character from the comics, so I guess that's what they're going for there. Now, obviously, this character of Mitch Romero, or Zombie Mitch Romero, will be the Freak of the Week or Villain of the Week that The Flash, and it looks like Killer Frost will have to deal with in the episode, but it looks like there will be these two are actually like conversing with Ramsey Rosso as well, probably wondering like why the hell this happened, why was he with this person, what happened to lead to this, and everything like that. Obviously, Ramsey Rosso doesn't know that Barry's the Flash, so that's going to be interesting to see if that happens. I think there's a bit in a trailer that has Ramsey talking to Barry where it sounds like Ramsey, not this trailer, but a previous, like one of the trailers before the season came out, which alludes to Ramsey knowing that Barry was the Flash. So maybe at some point in this episode, Ramsey learns that Barry's the Flash. I know the big meme is that like Barry always reveals his identity, but maybe Ramsey's smart enough to figure it out himself. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but that's probably something that might happen in this episode towards the end. But speaking of Barry and Frost, or Killer Frost, we actually see Barry talking about the whole, impending crisis, the Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff with Killer Frost or Frost, and probably his fate that he's meant to die, not just the fact that, oh, this is coming, but the fact that, I'm meant to die and sacrifice myself to save everyone. So, but I do wonder, and I think some of you have probably thought about this as well, whether Barry will tell everyone at once, like hold a group meeting, like, kumbaya, my lord, get around the campfire, let's tell a story, I'm going to die. Will he do that? It's hard to tell. But if he does that and then just spends time with Frost in this episode, I guess that would make sense. But from what it seems here, he might just be telling Frost on her own, and then maybe he's going to go like one by one with all the members of Team Flash, just so he can spend some quality time with them and maybe get them prepared individually for Crisis, and then maybe right towards the end get them prepared as a whole team. That's what it looks like could be happening here, but who knows? If I was Barry, I'd probably just tell all of them at once, because it's not like it's 17 people, it's 3 or 4 people. So I'd probably just go about it that way, but it's up to Barry which way he wants to go, I guess. Now, Ramsey's progression into Bloodwork, it's going to have to start, building up, because it is important to note that we are halfway through the Bloodwork arc almost. They're only getting 8 episodes, and 7 and 8 are sort of like a 2-parter. So you would really expect that this episode would be, at least towards the end, would push like Ramsey into that whole that Bloodwork form, if you want to call it. Like, he's already got the meta powers, but he's not really villainous, if you want to call it. He was just desperate in that first episode. He came across a bit villainous, but I think he was just desperate because he was going to die. He had the same illness as his mother that was going to kill him. So he was just desperate in regards to that. So I don't think he's really villainous at all at this stage, but this whole Bloodwork thing is going to obviously change him into a villain. But you have to think at the end of this episode something massive happens to go about his Bloodwork stuff, because the next episode is actually called There Will Be Blood, so you'd have to think there is some decent Bloodwork stuff going on there. It's pretty funny the next episode is actually called There Will Be Blood, because the tagline that plays like appears on screen throughout this trailer is "Let There Be Blood." So I guess it's like, let there be blood in this episode and there will be blood in the next one. So maybe that's what they were going for. But yeah, halfway through this Bloodwork arc essentially, so stuff sort of has to start, I guess, get pumping along pretty quickly, just to get to that end point in the episode 7 and 8 2-part finale. And the last real thing from the trailer of note is that you see Iris and Cisco basically going, oh, what the hell's going on here? This is actually the arrival of the new Wells for this season. Now, he's meant to be like some sort of doctor, almost like an archaeologist type. Apparently, he's got an Australian accent. That's for us to wait and see. I don't know if that's exactly true or not. But that's them about to encounter him. Not too sure necessarily how big of a part of the episode is going to be. I don't know if we learn his backstory in this episode. We did get hints of some backstory for him in another trailer. But maybe that's for like episode 4 or something. But once again, have to wait and see. But yes, we are going to be the new Wells in this episode, so get excited for that, I guess. But the big thing that I obviously mentioned earlier was the whole Earth 2 stuff, and I am wondering if there's going to be any more Crisis-related stuff in this episode. With the episode being called Dead Man Running, you'd have to think it'd be Barry maybe reminiscing on the whole, on all the news that he's just uncovered and learnt and all the stuff he's seen. I think that's going to be a big thing going forward. Barry just struggling with what he's seen. Like, when you see all that crap, it's it's pretty much traumatic. Like, he went through a lot of stuff and saw a lot of crap. Like, it doesn't just go out of your mind. And especially if you see your loved ones and your friends and stuff like that, you're going to be constantly reminded that you saw them die. Barry saw them specifically get just erased from existence right in front of him. So you'd have to think that's going to hit on him. Whether it's, we learn of other Earths being destroyed is a completely different matter, because I don't think it's actually going to happen. But the one thing I want to know, because I guess it depends, like, timeline-wise, where this lines up with what happened on Arrow, but I want to know whether there's actually recognition of the death of Earth 2. You'd have to think that there'd be some sort of way that they would learn that Earth 2 has just been erased from existence. I'd be shocked, maybe not this episode, but at least by next episode, I'd be super surprised if there's no recognition of it, because that's massive. Like, as I said, Harry Wells and Jesse Quicker from Earth 2, and you would think it would definitely, like, 100% affect everyone on Team Flash, especially Cisco. Like, Cisco's relationship with Harry Wells, I guess if Wally was still on the show, it'd be like, oh shit, Jesse, she's gone. But that's crazy. Like, it might be revealed that they were hanging out in Earth 7 or Earth 6 or Earth 8 or something, and they didn't get destroyed. But, like, you'd have to think they would, like, logically, you just have to assume that they did get destroyed. So that's pretty crazy, and I wonder if they're going to, you know, just acknowledge it on this week's episode, or the upcoming episode of The Flash. If you think they are, let me know, but pretty crazy. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, or my video, might I say, on the trailer for this episode. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we go over, what we went over in this trailer, and just what you're looking forward to in general. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.